Joining me today, the great Chase DeMoor. You know what? I call everyone the great. I think I'm talking to the greatest.
I'm the greatest ever, the greatest there ever will be, the greatest there ever was. I'm 0-2, but I'm the greatest 0-2 there ever is.
So, of course, a very dramatic weekend for you. I was just joking that, okay, you got disqualified in your last fight, but luckily it was a quiet end of the evening.
Yeah. Yeah. You only go viral, 3 times in one night.
So, I suppose we
uh
better start from the start, which is we'll get into all the controversy later. The improvement was unbelievable on Friday night in New Orleans. You looked like a different guy from the guy who fought either of the two times previously. Talk to me about what went down in the ring prior to all the controversy.
Man, I remember sitting here on this podcast with you
Mm-hmm.
after the Corey fight and everybody telling me like I don't deserve another chance. I remember sitting here on the podcast with you after the Josh fight, and I listened to 5 months of memes of watching the same clip over and over again, fighting demons, fighting spirits. I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag. I heard every joke in the book. Every single day I saw something else. It went the most viral boxing clip ever. I went to Australia for Christmas and had people in that country talking about me. And, people can say what they want at the end of the day. I said it and nobody believed me. I said, I've been busting my ass. I've been in the gym 5, 6 days a week. I don't miss days. I worked so hard. I watched countless hours of film. I got rebuilt from the ground up. Like I threw a 1-2 and nothing else for probably 3 months. Like everybody was making fun of me, posting my bag work, and I know like nobody wanted to believe me when I was saying like you guys, you have no idea like what was in store. And I think Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor came on. He was like, I've seen Chase spar. Anybody who's watched me spar was just like, no, like he's not the same. You guys are all gonna be crazy impressed. And everybody was saying like there's no way you could have improvement in just 5 months. And people don't understand how long 5 months of 5, 6 days a week of boxing is. And obviously, I'm in the ring fighting Stevie, and I don't even think I got hit by him. Like I really don't. I I have never beat somebody's ass so bad in my life. Like that,
Yeah.
Stevie is a unit. Like Stevie, tougher, stronger than Josh. Like I think Stevie's beating Josh 9 out of 10 times. And Stevie went out there and he had, decent form. He looked good, but like size, reach, like I used it all. My stance was crazy. I threw like my counters, like I punched him so hard it looked like an anime punch, and he went flying across
The
the
first
ring.
one,
But
yeah, was crazy.
I mean, I dropped him 3 times in the first round, including a knockout. And I think like obviously we saw the illegal punches, and I've apologized openly online for that. But like in my defense, bro, like everybody was saying I was fighting demons. Like I saw I saw everything on his way down. I saw, Greg Hardy. I saw every comment. I saw every meme. For 5 months, I dealt with that. And, people can say what they want, but as my character goes, I might be 0-2, but that was an beating that his grandkids are gonna feel.
Yeah, I mean it was certainly like night and day from the other fights, and I suppose you did let yourself down a little bit when you continued punching after the bell, and that was the big controversy coming out of it. And of course, it went from a knockout because you had the two knockdowns that were scored, and then one that wasn't scored, but it was you did put him down with a punch the second time that they didn't give, and then it all kind of falls apart from there. So you mentioned there that you land the punch that knocks him out. You see him going down slowly, and you're not looking at Stevie Knight in that moment. You're looking at the tens of thousands of people online who were abusing you for the last 5 months. You're looking at all the people who told you that you shouldn't be boxing, all of this stuff, and the emotion just overcame you at that point.
Yeah, man, like I can't even describe it. Like and I know everybody's gonna listen to this and be like, yeah, right, this and that, but nobody really understands what it's like when you're in that ring. And first and foremost, the referee being behind us, especially after the two previous knockdowns and the size difference between me and Stevie, the fact that he was so far away, like that's a completely separate thing. And I think his referee license should absolutely be reviewed because that is ridiculous. It's a very big safety concern. And I'm not saying what I did was right or wrong, but what I'm saying is when I punched him and I saw his eyes roll in the back of his head and his eyebrows lifted, and I'll never forget that. But he was falling down the rope so slowly, and I don't know what happened. Like I wasn't, Chase was not there anymore. King Chase was out the building. It was just like reading those comments and waking up every single day and training for boxing when the whole world is telling you to hang the gloves up is crazy. Nobody understands what that feeling is like, man. Like I had the most viral clip in the world, um swinging and missing, and like I really felt that in that moment. And to Stevie, 100%, like he's a good dude. I like Stevie a lot. Stevie Knight has a bright boxing future, and good luck to anybody who fights him, because he's that dude has got a chin like I ain't never seen before. Like I hit that man so hard he went flying across the ring and he got back up, and man, I can't even, like I said, I can't even describe it. And like, I am sorry that I kept throwing those punches afterwards, but I let the emotions get the best of me, and that's part of boxing too. That it was like I was saying before, ring experience, understanding how to pace yourself, learning how to throw punches, also learning how to knock somebody out and back off was also part of boxing. Like these are things that you develop with years of time. And I'm not the first person to throw a punch after the bell. I'm not going to be the last person to do it. And it's a learning curve for
You
me.
weren't the only person that weekend who threw a punch after the bell. King
Exactly.
Kenny
I was
dropped
the
one the
only
next
person that
day.
weekend. And King Kenny's an experienced boxer. He really doesn't have an excuse. The dude has a belt, or had a
Yeah.
belt. And like I said, I can only be so apologetic, and I'm never going to take anything from him. But that was going through my head at that moment, and I am truly sorry for it, and it won't happen again. But at the same time, like I'm not going to be discredited my loss
Mhm.
either. So
So so this all happens. We'll get to the rest of the evening later, but you fight Stevie. This all goes down. Mams Taylor tweets at some point during the evening. He's not happy about it. There will be disciplinary action. What is the latest? What did Mams Taylor say to you on the night? What has he said to you in the coming days?
I didn't go immediately to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I had my people around me. At first, like obviously, like I cried. I was so heartbroken because I know we had this comeback. I had all my people there. We were all in the corner, and I was just looking at them. At first, like everybody's smiling. Everybody was so telling me they're so proud of me, they're so happy with
Yeah.
me, and I'm just like, bro, I let all you guys down. Like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, no, it was never about winning or losing. It was about showing people that you didn't give up and you learned and you came back. Like you might have lost, but you came back, Chase. And I didn't really understand that. That's why I was crying, because I was like, man, Coach Ivan's here and all these people that said like they put their time and effort in me. And Mams even came and he gave me a hug and stuff like that. And I went and I sat in the locker room, and I had like my girl was in there, my friends were in there, everybody's in there. And I got up and I went and I sat with Stevie in his locker room. I walked past his security. They're like, what are you doing? I ignored all of them. I went and I sat in
Mm-hmm.
there, and I went and I chatted with him for a bit. And I was like, bro, you got a bright future, and like you got stones. Like nobody would ever step in the ring, bro. And like you did that. And obviously, like when I left, um I opened up Twitter and I saw that, everybody was pissed off about, the punches and stuff. So I tweeted out my apology, and then I got tagged in Mams Taylor's tweet. And essentially he basically told me they're pushing for a 12-month ban. They want a year suspension, but we'll see how that goes. Obviously there's a lot of factors that play in that. Off of first initial look, you see what you see, but like people, you also have to take into consideration experience. The size of the ring. Like
Yeah.
obviously we're big bodies fighting in a small ring. You have to take in what the pace of him falling down and where the referee was. The referee is the number
Yeah.
one.
I think the most egregious thing, well, I guess the most egregious thing is throwing 8 punches after the bell, but I think right up there with that is the referee who knows he's been in the dressing room with you guys beforehand and talked to you about it, and he doesn't step forward and say, hey, get off this guy after two or three. which is what
He's
usually happens when someone goes a bit crazy after the bell in the
right.
sub novice bet.
If you watch the clip, he's counting while Stevie is on the ropes still. Stevie's not even all the way down,
Yeah.
and he's counting behind us. You know what I mean?
And
And I
you
think
should be
that's
in a neutral corner before he ever starts counting.
right. Like the whole point, of the referee is like they don't understand. Like he's already had 2 knockdowns. He's already been knocked down twice. I'm a lot bigger than him. The referee's behind me counting. Like, why is he not jumping in between? Like, get off of him. They do that in Deontay Wilder's fight. They do
Yeah.
that in every fight ever except this one. And he's just watching, and then all of a sudden, the ref doesn't even DQ it at first. He comes and then he separates us, and then after talking to the corner, he decides to do the DQ because I think at that point he realized how wrong he was. But I'm not saying I'm not at fault. I'm 100% at fault. But if you look at the punches weren't. I wasn't like they weren't hard punches. Like I wasn't like I was on the ground, pounding his head, and his head wasn't snapping. It was more celebratory punches, I feel like. And like I said, like the ref 100% should have been there pulling. Go to your neutral corner. You know what I mean? And obviously, if it is a 12-month ban, that would be really unfortunate. But me,
Yeah.
I don't go quietly ever. And you get like, look what I did in 5 months. You give me 12 more months of boxing, man. I really might be fighting Tyson Fury.
So if you get, I mean, a 12-month ban would be crazy. So you get that in Louisiana, they wouldn't let you fight anywhere else. I mean, the PBA probably wouldn't let you fight. I don't know, like, or would you just kind of sit out for 12 months, build your following online, maybe go do another Netflix show, get another couple 100,000 followers there, and then come back after a year of training and really it'd be like I don't know what it would be like when you came back then.
I think no, I'm not going quietly. 1,000%. For me, the plan is I'm dropping down 225, so that way I'm sitting to where if I need to cut weight to fight 190, I can. If I need to fight heavyweight, I can. I'm going to stay in 2 divisions, and I'm going to continue to box. If I get suspended for 12 months, I'll find a way to box through the 12 months. If that's just posting sparring footage, if that's just training every day, I'm not just going to sit it out 100%. No. I think if anything, if they don't have me ranked as a heavyweight contender now, then they've lost their mind. Like if you watch all those fights in 06, who else had a nice knockout besides me and Waleed? Like I from promo standpoint, from superstar standpoint, from following, like bro, like you remove me from Misfits 06. What happens at that event? What happens at that press conference? You take me out of that. People can say what they want about me, but you remove me from 06. You tell me how that whole venue would have went down. You know what I mean?
So I guess we'd better get into it then. So talk me through the timeline here. You get disqualified into the back. What is it, like medicals or something then, or the commission come in and talk to you? What happens immediately after the fight?
Well, I got sent to my corner and I'm talking to Gideon. I'm like, we're
Right.
screaming at each other, knock this dude out, we're going crazy. I don't even know what's going on at this point. I turn around, everybody's fighting, and I see Stevie getting up wobbling. So I go over there and I'm like, bro, are you okay? Like, I'm like, are you good? Like, I'm more concerned with him at this point. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the win-loss. And then they're telling me like I'm gonna get DQ'd. And so then the emotions start hitting you, and I get out of the ring and I start walking to the locker room. They're like, no, they want you for an interview. DAZN wants you for an interview. So I got sent over to still do the post-fight interview with DAZN.
Yeah.
I told Bruckner to accept my fight man to man. I fought him with 2 weeks notice, and nobody wanted to fight him for years, so he can accept my fight now that I know how to box. And then after that, I went straight to the locker room. I sat in there, and everybody was like happy in the locker room. I don't know what the hell was going on. I was the only one that was sad. I was like, everybody's like, they're so proud of me. Like I did what, I came back essentially. And then the fight commission comes in there and they speak with you, like, this is what your DQ is about, blah, blah, blah. They pay you your check. But after that, like I went straight to Stevie's locker room to check on him. Like I said, like I was more concerned for him as a human being than anything else. And after that is when I went back out to the venue, and I had an army of fans just waiting to take photos, and it was actually a really good feeling. Like everybody was so happy. I don't know why. I
They're all
lost, and
treating you like you won, basically, right?
yeah, right. And I was like, I took photos, and a kid asked me for my jacket. I gave him my warm-up jacket, and it was cool, and I sat there for a bit, and then the whole Nate Diaz fiasco started.
Yes, so you're sat at ringside. Nate's there obviously for Chris Avila against your pal Paul Bamba, and you guys are friends, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, of course.
So, what exactly started this melee? Because I see him throw a bottle at you, and I know you would never wind someone up. You would never get someone annoyed. That's not in your character. So what happened with you
Never.
with you and Nate?
Basically, yeah, me, I'm just being an innocent bystander, minding my business as per usual. Uh, his boy Chris was fighting my boy Paul. And so when Chris walked out, I let him know that he's built like a milk bag. And so he flipped me off at the beginning. And then as they continued to fight, Chris kept on grabbing Paul. And so I said, "Stop grabbing him. I know you're tired. You suck. You would never fight me, in the most respectful, disrespectful way possible."
Of course, of course.
And then he flipped me off and said, "Fuck you." And then Nate Diaz, obviously got upset because I let him know that I saw them out the night before hitting on college girls. And I politely let Nate Diaz know that he is the biggest I've ever seen in my life. And I would gladly beat his if they locked me in a cage with him. And so he got up and he threw a bottle at me. And after that, it was all bets off. I think I went from MMA, or I went from boxing to MMA to the WWE when I picked up the steel can to throw at him. And then I had an army of people, basically holding me back from Nate Diaz, and he's flipping me off. And I was like, "Bro, aren't you in the UFC? Why are you hiding behind an army of people? I'm the guy that had the missed swing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, yeah, what are you hiding from? I'll put the chair down and we could get it on." And everybody's like essentially pulling me away. I think my boy Daniel got punched by one of his boys, and he got
Right.
sent flying. And I was like, at this point, it's on site with these guys. So we got a nice little police escort outside of the building and onto our bus and sent back to the hotel.
And then you went to bed, and the evening ended there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Me. I'm just like, I just want a quiet evening. I don't want no problems. And everybody's like, do you want a security guard to go out with you tonight? And I was like, "No, I'm not paying for no security guard. I did that at the
Right.
last place, and everybody gave me for it." And so I'm with Gideon and Fogan Fall. um just walking minding my business, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "I don't want no problems. I don't want problems." And then he like Spartan kicks me in the chest. And so I just, I immediately sent my two and I punched him and he went flying. And the next thing I know, I'm getting decked in the side of the head. And I got 5 of Nate Diaz's boys trying to jump me on Bourbon Street. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I got Nate Diaz and his boys trying to jump me. Oh man. All right, bet. So, I'm just trying to do my thing. I got 5 MMA fights. They're all in the UFC, mind you, and they all have great
Right,
records.
right.
So what am I doing? I'm just trying to play defense. All of a sudden, I see 3 cops come. I'm not trying to get arrested in Louisiana. So I'm like, y'all got to chill out, bro. The cops are right here. Like, we get arrested here. Like, bro, we don't know what's going to happen in Louisiana. And so I ended up, you saw the video. I'm just sitting there on the wall, just essentially getting headbutted and punched and all this and that. So we ended up walking away after that. I was fine. Went out and partied with my crew for the rest of the night, and woke up the next day and found out, Logan Paul was in the hospital and all this other stuff was happening.
So you're kind of watching all of this go down. Could you kind of believe that Nate's like this superstar fighter? Could you believe he's getting himself into something like this on the street with I consider the fake Logan Paul, like Gideon's a big celebrity. Like I see the fake Logan Paul as someone who Nate would see as like beneath him, right?
Nate looks at me and he sees the greatest ever, a superstar, and so of course he wants to pick a fight with me. It's actually crazy that I belittled myself to Nate Diaz's level. It's
Well,
actually
that's
absurd.
true.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I associated myself with such a low name. And I will personally be there to watch Logan Paul get him out of the ring August 5th, whenever their fight is. And then if any of his boys want to say something to me,
Jake
I'll be
Paul
like,
is going to
look,
get him out.
yeah, Jake Paul's knocking him out. I was like, if any of
Not
you
Logan.
boys, huh?
You said
Yeah,
Logan.
no, Not Logan. I think Jake Paul is a better fighter. I think he's younger. He's like Nate Diaz. When I saw him, bro, he looked sick. He looked like bro just got off of COVID 102. Like he's skinny, he's partying. I saw him out the night before trying to use his dried up MMA career to hit on college girls. Like I was like, bro, you're a bum. You're about to get slept by Jake Paul, who's a YouTuber. And I'll personally be there ringside to see that. So
Now I might ask you, when you've got the biggest fight of your life coming up against Stevie Knight, what are you doing out the night before? How could you possibly have seen Nate getting all these college girls or failing to get these college girls?
Next question. Not only was I out the night before Stevie Knight, I went out the day of Stevie Knight. I posted on my Instagram. I was at the bar 3 hours before I went and fought him. But that's what happens when you're confident, you're the greatest ever. And I was at Coachella the weekend before. His girl DM me, said, "Who goes to Coachella weekend before the fight?" It's like John. I had a lot of John Jones moments. After John Jones's loss came the same way my loss came.
Sure, yeah.
And
His
John
only
Jones.
loss.
Yeah. John Jones said in the press conference, I quote, "I beat your ass after a weekend of cocaine and hookers." I tell Stevie Knight, "I beat your after a weekend at Coachella."
Yeah. So you are planning on, I guess, fighting again. You didn't take really any. I mean, you didn't take any damage in the ring. Did you take any damage outside on the streets of New Orleans?
The most damage I took was from Nate's boy punching me in the ear. It was like a blind side. He got me good in the ear and he headbutted me in the
This was
face.
Nick Maximov or Chris Avila?
Which is the white boy with the dreads? Or no. I didn't get tattoos. Not Chris Avila, the other one.
Maximov is the guy who was in the UFC for a little bit, like 8-2, like smaller guy though.
No, maybe not him. He's a pretty big. Is he a white dude?
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Well, I think he fought at like middleweight in the MMA. Yeah, white, got a load of tattoos.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. He hit me.
So you get hit by a UFC star. Nothing doesn't affect you. You were hit by
nothing. They still can't drop me. It's crazy. It's crazy. 5 UFC fighters still couldn't drop me, and I'm the dude with the mid swing. I must be built. I told Dana White, bro, sign me to the UFC. You see what I can do in the boxing ring? Sign me to the UFC.
In all seriousness, though, there must be, now that everything's calmed down, you're all kind of chilled out. You're back in LA. Are you thinking now, like, gosh, I really have to just win one legit now?
Man, that's the only thing I'm missing, bro. Like, I can't believe, like, what an ugly 0-2. Like, you lose one from excessive exhaustion, and you lose another one for over beating somebody. Like, damn.
The two ends of the spectrum, yeah, beating someone up too badly and getting beaten up so badly.
But I think it's actually better that way in a weird sense. Like, I think like everybody was watching the fight, like, damn, we got to give him some, like, everybody's like watching, like, no, we can't give Chase credit. No. And like in the weirdest sense possible, I think it's only fitting that not only do I knock the dude out, but I still find a way to lose. I think it matches the character almost perfectly. Like,
yeah,
the greatest that never was.
It absolutely is great. So are you going to go to Nate's fight in August in Dallas? Are you going to get a ringside ticket? I'm sure Jake would love to have you there.
Oh, I'm going to be as close to Nate Diaz and his crew as possible. I'm going to be right there. If I don't get escorted out within the first round for starting a riot of some sort, then I let the entire community down.
And I mean, you're not injured in any way, so you could probably, once you get all the legal issues sorted out, give yourself a little bit of hang on the DL for a little bit. Luckily, there was another exciting night of YouTube fights the following night, so everything's kind of eased up a little bit. But then you want to get out pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah, well, the problem is like, so the way it was meant to be, it was if I knocked Stevie Knight out, the deal was the winner of the Jake Minicon fight, we were supposed to fight on 07 for the Misfits belt. So I'm a little bit upset about that because
it's worked out perfectly for you then, because like, neither of those guys won either.
Right. So it actually the most weird combo of things happened. So basically, I did knock Stevie out, but I lost. Yeah. And Minicon and Jake the Viking had a draw. So I'm not really sure how that worked. Maybe if I would have won, I would have got to pick, either or of them. But yeah, like it's just really unfortunate because like I would have had an opportunity to get that belt that got away from me last time. And, now we just need to see what the suspension is going to look like, and, just rack up a couple wins and go get it again.
Stevie has not been kind to you on social media. I wonder, you wouldn't consider doing that one again, no?
No, it's not like, why would he want to fight me again?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a close fight from start to finish. And like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, he's trying to say that I have been bad mouthing him, this and that. And I haven't said a single bad thing about Stevie Knight. Everything I've said in any interview has to do with the comment section, has to do with the miss swing, the memes. I've never once said like Stevie Knight is a piece of shit, can't fight, and I beat his. I never once said that. I've you know what I mean? Like, I've given the dude loads of credit. Like, you know what I mean? I went out of my way with no cameras, with none of my friends. I went and sat there on my own time and chatted with him after. And I'm the worst sport in the world, as the Twitter community knows. I took a loss and went and I sat with him. And he was trying to say, like, I posted a pic. I went there and I was trying to be buddy buddy with him, and he was trying to be cool. And I posted a picture of me punching him while he was down. Like, I have the picture of him, like,
Yeah.
I didn't post that. I posted the one of him on the ropes, as any fighter would. And I said he's a champion, he's a warrior, he's a gladiator. I give him loads of credit. And I said I was the better man that night. Not that I was the better man, I was just the better man that night. That's what I said about him. So
What is kind of the message to whoever you would like to get a message out to? Nate Diaz, Mams Taylor, anyone? Well, what are your kind of your parting words here for the people watching?
my parting words, I'll give each one of them as Mams Taylor. He's like a second dad to me. He's the best guy I know. He gives a lot of great dudes opportunities. So I'm always thankful to be a part of Misfits. I will continue to always be an entertaining character. And my message to Stevie is, like, I hope you continue to fight. You have a bright career, and you're gonna probably sleep a lot of people. Not me, but like a lot of people. Maybe start with Minicon and work your way up from there. And to the people on Twitter that want to talk about this and that, like, sometimes the moment gets the best of you, and regardless of what they say, they'll never be able to take the fact that I'm night and day, and from my first fight, and everything I said I was gonna do, I did it. Like,
Yeah,
I got that man out of there in the first round. Wasn't even
absolutely.
close. So
It was a special. It was definitely an interesting one. I don't know. It was one of the crazier nights of influencer boxing on kind of the smaller card too. Like, it wasn't as
I
hyped
was
up necessarily, but
yeah, I was a prelim, and everybody tuned in just for my fight.
by the way, that was. I mean, I was talking to someone about it, and I was saying that I'm not sure if you would have seen the tweet. You wouldn't have, because it was right when you were about to fight. But so I said to someone, they put the best heavyweight in the world on the prelims, and they were like,
Crazy.
"Yeah, no, I guess I don't know what happened." And I said, "Well, I suppose it makes sense. They want to get the most interesting guy on the free part that everyone can see, and that'll get the
Exactly.
subscribers onto the zone."
Exactly. Like, I think on my DAZN app, I looked at it. It was they gave me my link to it like 2 days prior to the
Yeah,
fight. I had over 20,000 link clicks on it.
right. Yeah, because of course, how could they not? They want to see you fight.
All right, I'm the greatest there ever was. I'm the greatest there ever will be. And I'll continue to be the greatest.